Hello.
Hello.
And can you tell me who are you? What do you do with Insomniac?
Sure, my name is TJ Fixman, and I'm the senior writer for Ratchet Clank Future: A Crack in Time.
Yes.
And I'm James Stevenson, and I'm the senior community manager at Insomniac Games.
Okay. Can you tell me what's the story of the next Ratchet Clank?
Sure. A Crack in Time is all about Ratchet's quest to find Clank. So he finds out at the end of Quest for Booty that Clank's been taken to a different system in the Polaris Galaxy called the Briga system. So he takes off with Captain Quark to go and rescue him. At the same time, Clank is going to be finding out something about his own destiny and about his father and about maybe a new job at this place called the Great Clock. And of course, along the way, they're going to bump into Dr. Nefarious and find out that he's got his own evil plan for taking control of time for some mysterious purpose. And they're going to have to try to save the universe.
Oh.
A lot of stuff going on.
Oh. Yes. Can you tell us Ratchet have a new movement, new capacity?
Yeah, sure. The new movements. We've got the hover boots, which is very new for us. Ratchet now has these hover boots that can actually blast him across the terrain at very high speeds. So we've got these wide open levels like Krell Canyon where he can just hover boot off rocks and onto grind rails and things like that. And we also have space exploration, which is a new way to get from planet to planet in the Ratchet and Clank franchise, where no longer do you have a cinematic that just says, Ratchet goes to Novalis or Ratchet goes to Umbris. You actually are in the ship flying around space, landing on moons, going from one sector to another, and actually traveling to these planets. So those are probably the two biggest new movement mechanics we've got in the game.
Okay. About the community, have you take some idea of the community to make in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we put a fan weapon into the game. So the Spiral of Death was created by a fan in San Diego, Jackson Finley, and what we actually did was we had a application and we had over 1,000 entries and drawings of weapons and weapon ideas, and our weapons team went through all of them, and we filtered it down to our 5 favorites, and then we put them up on the web for a vote. And so then our fans submitted all the entries, and then they voted on the winner, and so they picked the Spiral of Death, which is this great weapon that fires out an energy blade, which goes out and then kind of loops back around and comes back to you. And so it's kind of like a deadly yo-yo, because you can fire it out and it hits stuff and it comes right back in.
Oh. About the development of the game, what is the hardest thing you have made for this game? Is the graphics, gameplay, control?
I think there's a whole lot of things that have kind of come together for this. It's, overall, what I think, it's so big. The one thing I think we've really focused on is, we really nailed the look of a CG animated movie with tools of destruction. And one of the things we really wanted to bring to this game was the heart. You get a lot of emotion, and these CG movies, they tug at your heartstrings, and they are very heartfelt, and they have these really lovely moments to them. And we wanted to take that to the next level with this game and continue to raise our storytelling. At the same time, we also wanted to advance, the graphics. I think this game looks miles ahead of Tools of Destruction and Quest for Booty, thanks to it being a 4th generation game and using tech from Resistance 2. And then on top of that, we wanted to add a lot to the gameplay. We talked about hover boots and space. There's also the time mechanic to the game, and time is a big focus of the story, of the theming of the levels, and of the gameplay, where Clank has the ability to throw time bombs and make recordings of himself, and fix time distortions on the planets that Ratchet's exploring so he can go back and get collectibles. So, there was several different focuses, but I think it really came down to, 4 main things where we have the heart in the story. We wanted to give the heroes new things to do, like the hover boots and Clank's abilities. We wanted to open up space for exploration, and time. We wanted that time element to be a huge aspect of the game.
Have you made some Easter egg for the fan in the game?
I'm sorry?
Easter egg surprise for the fan?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of surprises in store for the fans. We're really trying to make a conscious effort to wrap up all the loose ends from not only Tools Destruction, but answer some of the very big questions from previous games. So like if you listen very carefully, you'll hear about what happened to Angela, Max, Apogee. We didn't make it a big part of the game, but if you listen, you'll get that. There's also a surprise ending where we really wanted just to end the trilogy in the way we really knew how, with a lot of heart. So I think people are going to be very surprised by what I think is the best looking ending that I think that we've ever done.
I think if you play when you play the space levels, there's radio. So you listen to the radio. There's radio stations you can listen to in your spaceship, and so there's some just fantastic advertisements that TJ wrote. There's news broadcasts, and like I said, a lot of those broadcasts answer questions, so fans will want to fly around, listen to the radio, and hear the things going on. The museum is back. There's other things like certain skins and things that you can unlock that will be, fans will really appreciate. So there's tons of stuff, and fans of the game, with replay being such a big focus for us, they will get a lot of hours out of this game with the amount of just sheer content that's in there.
I think this game has the biggest replay plan that we've done in any Ratchet title before. So when the game is over, you have a ton more to play. There's a whole boss that's reserved for strictly replay.
Okay. There are just one line, one word to go to finish the game, or there are some intersection across. You can take the first way, or are there a second way to finish the story?
The story plays out in a. I mean, it's an open world, but we had to keep the story somewhat linear because the time travel element. It's very difficult to tell an open-ended time travel story, because if you go to one planet and you change something, especially if you follow chaos theory and all that, you would expect to go to another planet and have things be completely different. So we wanted everything, at least story-wise, to be very contained. But there are things to do outside the story, like to go out on quests. So if you go to any moon inside one of the space sectors, you can perform a quest that's off the beaten trail. You can go to the arena, of course, which is part of the DNA of our franchise, and just fight for bolts and rewards. So we try to keep it fresh, even if you decide to color outside the lines and not stay strictly on the story.
Okay. Have you? Can you tell us some anecdote, short story about the development?
Sure. I think when we decided to bring another Lombax that we've publicly announced as a Lombax into the franchise, that was a very big thing for our team, and everyone was wondering, well, what does an older Lombax look like? And because we wanted Azimuth to be a very grizzled, world-weary but fatherly character, so there was a lot of time that we had to take into getting it right. And I remember at first we didn't know what one would look like. We didn't know what color an older Lombax would be. We tried him as blue. We tried him as white, which we kind of went with. We tried him as yellow, just like Ratchet. And we had all kinds of tattoos and scars on him in the beginning, and giant helmets and gear. And at the end, we had to take a look at it and just say that he didn't look friendly enough. He just looked too cold the way that we had him, because he just looked all scarred and grizzled. So we ended up having, toning him way back and making, creating a softer version of a Lombax Elder. So it's somebody that has been in battles before. He's kicked some butt in his day, but he's warm enough to be your father or your grandfather. So it was a lot. It probably took about 3 or 4 months to get him right.
Okay. Just a question about the music of the game. You work more about this, or?
Well, we work with a composer named Boris Salchow. I hope I'm not butchering his last name.
Thanks, sir.
But he did a phenomenal job composing the score for us, and for what I'm told, he even took his own money and arranged for an orchestra in Italy to play a Clank theme, specifically for the Great Clock. And he listened in over the phone in Los Angeles and helped orchestrate it and get it done, because he was that dedicated to getting it right. So I think that this is our first time away from David Bergeau, who's done every other Ratchet game before that, did a fantastic job. But this music feels different. It feels epic. It feels more orchestral, and it definitely helps with the epic fairy tale vibe that we were going for.
Okay. What is the next project of Insomniac?
He knows even before he asks.
You'll just have to wait and see.
It's a Ratchet Clank or another?
You'll just have to wait.
You have to wait and see. It's all right.
We're just focused on this game right now. We just got this one done. Give us a little while, please. We're tired.
You love Paris?
We love Paris. Yeah, we just got here yesterday, so we spent a whole day flying out here, and now been here, and it's beautiful. I love coming to Paris.
My first time here, I love it.
Oh.
I had to take the 24-hour tour though, because we're leaving for Portugal in a couple hours.
Okay, man.
A great city.
Let's go to Vegas. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.